Oh, there we go. Oh, we are live.
Oh, that was
Welcome.
fast.
Hey, that was fast. That was fast. So, welcome to the Island of Relevancy. This was an extremely busy week, but unfortunately, Frank and I don't have much time to cover all the stuff this week. But we're going to do everything we can to get you caught up. And there you have it. How you doing, Frank?
I'm fine. We don't really have to cover SmackDown, right? We can just say stuff happened and we move on.
I mean, things happened on SmackDown. There was
No,
only
I know.
one thing of note that I
Uh,
thought that happened on SmackDown, and that
It was
was
it was better this week. Last week, Raw was absolutely outstanding. Um, now we
Raw
got
was
some good
great.
stuff to talk about.
We do. Um, but yeah, SmackDown happened. The only thing of note that I thought was great from SmackDown was Solo and his crew versus Seth and his crew. Seth kind of took over SmackDown. He just showed up and was just beating people up and curb stomping everybody all night. Poor LA Knight, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about LA Knight at this point.
I don't know what they're
Um,
doing with him at this point. I don't even think it feels like they don't know what they're doing with him at this point.
you just have this super hot wrestler who just can't get over the hump. And maybe they're playing the long game to where, I mean, he's in his 40s. He can't stand to take too many years of because Seth had, I want to say like 2 years of just losing.
Yeah.
Like Seth lost a lot of matches about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where Seth was just he was the guy who elevated you but got beat. Cody,
Mm-hmm.
Roman, all these different people. Like we forget the dark times of Seth Rollins, where he really started doing the maniacal laugh because he was just getting beat. The whole Messiah thing, he was getting beat a lot. He lost more matches than he won. So
There's a lot of wrestlers in their 40s that I don't think it like so LA Knight's 42. Um Randy Orton's 45. Drew McIntyre's 40. I mean, they're up there. I mean, they're still in way, 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 way better shape than I ever will be. AJ Lee, you see, there's a recent picture of AJ Lee on some kind of red carpet thing, and she had
mhm.
this like cut dress, like where it's right under the and it shows her like her abs. She still has a six pack, a nice six pack. Like that woman is in incredible shape. And here I am, 53 years old, scarfing down Mike and Ike Jolly Joes, drinking a Celsius, talking about wrestling in my basement.
Man, I wish they sold Jolly Joes here. They don't sell those anymore. You just
Yep. Look at that.
brought back a core memory right
Look
there.
at that. I got them off
They
Amazon,
s-
bud.
oh man, I might have to do that
I got a
because they
12.
stopped
Oh,
selling them.
they did. They don't, and it's the bigger box. It's not the little box. It's like the movie theater box.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they were selling them when the last time I remember working on base. They were selling them on base, and I used to work shift work because I worked the gates, the security
Okay.
gates
Yeah. Yeah.
around the base,
Uh,
and I would get one of those every single night at the start of my shift because I worked 12-hour shifts, and it was no fun. I mean, all I did was drive around and check on people. I wasn't
right.
actually
Right.
doing any work. And then at about 2 a.m. most nights I would find a parking lot and I would just go to sleep. I would just take a nap from about 2 to 4, wake up, go do changeover, do all that fun stuff. Those are fun army days. But
I
enough
bet.
about the army. Um,
What's up, Ace?
I don't have I don't have any notes
I,
because
I don't have notes. I have the rundown. Look. I'll point out a couple interesting things. Okay,
let's do it.
that the
What did
show
you
opened
find
up with
interesting on SmackDown?
Seth, which is great. Seth and Solo trade words. Solo is way, 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 way better um, in the comedy kind of little bit. Um,
Yes.
he's I think it's way better. Sorry, I was telling Matt we went live. Um, it I don't know. It was okay opening. I mean, Seth.
Yeah.
I'm high on Seth right now. So any opening with Seth is great.
They had
Um,
that moment with Braun and Jacob and like the
yep.
crowd was just so into it. I mean, they're teasing it, just don't tease it too much. Like
Right.
we don't need to see them having to stare because we'll get into Money in the Bank,
Yep.
how they kept them away from each other, which I did
Right.
like.
I did. Um, Jimmy Uso versus JC. Um, Jimmy wins. Um,
Yes,
he bumped into JC, who bumped into uh, Jacob up on the
Jacob.
apron. Okay, there's a little bit of stuff there. Cool, cool. Um, Piper versus Selena. They're just running this into the ground with the
Piper took a nasty spill. She took a
yeah,
few nasty spills in this match.
yeah.
I love
Um,
Piper Niven.
I love them. I just it feels like they're just running in circles with them right
Yeah,
now.
the same match over and over and over again.
And it, yeah.
I would
Um,
say 90% of Zelina's matches, 95% has been against Chelsea and the Secret Service this year.
yeah. Which I mean, I don't know. I guess now that Julia's there, there's something else for them. So that's kind of
Yes,
cool. Julia came in and made the save and then attacked Zelina after the match. So that's cool. That's a completely different direction and a whole another ball of wax that should be good to get into for them. Um,
yes.
Damien talking to Jacob, telling him he's coming after the US belt. Cool. That should be a great match when we get to it at some point.
Mm,
Um, LA Knight came out, did some talking, and Aleister Black came out. Then they had a match, and then Rollins came out and interfered, stomped Knight, and he was about to hit Aleister Black, but Aleister just turned right around and stopped Braun Spear in his tracks. That was kind of cool. Uh,
and then they murdered him in the
and then
ring.
right,
and then,
and there was
then they
murder
murdered
anyway.
poor
Right,
Alistair.
right.
Yes.
Then we had a good. Now look, Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley, and Alexa Bliss versus Julia, Naomi, and who was the last one?
Roxanne
Roxanne
Perez.
was a fun little match. There's a lot of potential awesome matchups in there, and this was match one for Stephanie of the weekend.
Yes. She had a long one.
She had a long All-Star weekend herself.
I I've never thought in a million years I would say this. I'm so high on Roxanne Perez. She's so good. She
Yep.
really is. She's so small, but she's so good. Like she's phenomenal. She does great heel work, which I didn't think would translate. I thought she would be like a forever baby face, like a
Mhm.
smaller underdog, plucky wrestler. She's a great heel.
Yep.
Naomi did what Naomi did, jumped off the jumped off the turnbuckle to I don't want your tag. I'm out of
Nope.
here.
Left her
I
high
don't
and
I don't want
dry.
no part of this. I don't want
Nope.
no part of this.
Nope.
Have to be fresh for Saturday.
No, and then Roxanne took all the moves from all three of the other women until Rhea
Correct.
hit her for the win. Um,
Yes.
look, Naomi is on that path right now, and we'll talk about her again in a few minutes because not only is she on that path, but now she just crossed over into Derange, and I love it. I mean, crossed further into Derange. Let me rephrase that.
I was about to say she's been there. She's been there for a minute now.
Okay,
She's
but
she is she's on a good glide path
she drew a line in the sand and said, "I'm on this side of Derange," and then went, "Now I'm across that line."
and go to
So,
another level.
and
Yeah.
I guess Alexa's not joining the Wyatts. And
I
I'm
don't think
okay with
so.
that. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. I guess she's gonna have to evolve her ring gear to get away from that eventually, if that's not where she's going. Um, then we had
I'm okay
another
with the
good
goddess look.
yeah, we can go back to that. Then we had another good match. Penta and Andrade versus the Creed brothers. I totally forgot that was a match. Um,
What are we doing? Why do we keep putting Penta or Ray in a random tag with a random person against a notable tag team instead of putting them together?
so
I know what they're doing. I
they're
get what they're doing.
they're gonna build it, and it looks like the rumor is they're gonna have the draft after SummerSlam. So you'll probably have them intersect down the line there, which is that's fine. But
Yeah.
this is a good match, but I think they're dropping the ball with the Creeds too.
Oh,
Like
terribly.
they're a special group of men and they're just being put into this almost jobber position week after week after week.
It's like, I don't know if you remember World's Greatest Tag Team, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, right?
Yep.
They overhyped them. They were like,
Yep.
"This is the greatest tag team," and I thought they were okay. Like, I love Shelton Benjamin, don't get me wrong. Love Charlie
Mhm.
Haas, good, two great wrestlers.
Absolutely.
They overhyped them. They put them in these main event spots. They put them, they aligned them with Kurt Angle, and they were the world's greatest tag team. Great team angle, got it, cool. Then you had American Alpha, who was kind of tweener. Like American Alpha had a good run.
Right.
Jason Jordan, like I don't know why they ever split those two up. Those two could have had like a long and illustrious career as a great elite tag team. They could have been up there with the Usos. They could have been up there with New Day.
Probably a Vince thing.
And and then yeah, definitely, because they saw a lot in Jason Jordan. Did I just lose you? Did I just lose Frank? I think I did. Um, but then we got the Creeds, right? Who's kind of a hybrid of the two.
I fat thumbed the button. My bad.
No, you're good. But I would just say we got the Creeds, who's kind of like a kind of combination of American Alpha and the world's greatest tag team. They have the look.
Mhm.
Now Brutus comes out with a cut off tank top, looking like Ezekiel Elliott from the Cowboys.
Wow.
Like they're kind of leaning into the ridiculousness, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with not taking yourself super seriously, but when the bell rings, just be a great elite tag team, which they are.
They are.
They just they're directionless, right? They have these random matches with the War Raiders. They have random matches with they're not having banger matches with the New Day
Nope.
because they somehow because they're both heels, they have to kind of align them with each other and they work together, which doesn't really work. They
Mm-mm.
should be the tag team champions right now.
They should.
And I'm saying that, and I love the New Day. I absolutely adore the New Day, but they're
Now,
doing nothing right now.
from this point to the end of the show, which I guess was about 45 minutes or so, the show picked up a little bit. You had El Grande Americano's best friend Chad Gable tried to interfere in the match. Vikingo got involved, and then they went off into the crowd. Um, and then Penta and Andrade got the win. After that, Seth Rollins and his boys came out and beat the living hell out of both of them, and
Just
just smack Penta around like he just doesn't even belong in wrestling anymore.
yes.
Um, in the midst of all this, there was a backstage segment where Solo was talking to JC, and he made the line "all gas, no brains,"
No brains.
and they walked
Hilarious.
away. And they were standing in front of like a doorway and with a ladder and a road case, and just out on cue, Jacob walked out the doorway after hearing "all gas, no brains."
Yep.
Okay, little
Old
scene,
Batista move.
little scene.
The old evolution of Batista move right there.
Yep.
Uh, I
And
mean, this is inevitable. It was
it,
inevitable.
it is. And so we go back to the ring, and Paul Heyman's there, gives a promo. Love Paul Heyman's promos. Cody's music hits. Jay came through the crowd. Um, and then Paul tried to attack Jay while he was distracted. Cena hit Rhodes with an AA. Um, Logan Paul, that is, not Paul Heyman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this was this was so the crowd started chanting for R-Truth, and Cena picked up the microphone and leaned into it and gave them the "you can't handle the truth," and really like he said the word truth so many times in that segment. Nobody had any idea what was to come about that. It was just probably like, okay, this is John Cena. He
Being
can do it
here.
and say
Yep.
whatever he wants.
Yep.
And it was a good little promo at the end that stood with Logan holding the belt over his head, next to Cena holding the belt over his head, which sent many shockwaves through the fans of the pure wrestling world that, oh my God, this is what's going to happen.
Have they not been watching wrestling for the last 50 years? That means they're definitely gonna lose. Like
That's
that is a
usually what that
telltale
means.
sign
That
that,
is.
that they're gonna lose, but okay.
Um, and then we're out. 3 hours felt wasn't as bad as it usually is. It was a little bit better this week. Um, than how you know what I mean? At least to
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I didn't catch it live. I watched a lot of highlights. Friday ended up being like this whole week has really been a family week, except for Saturday. Saturday
Right.
turned into a complete day of wrestling. There was a lot of wrestling that happened on Saturday.
I
Um,
I sat in a house. Um, I sat in a house for Worlds Collide, and then I went over a friend's house for Money in the Bank.
I had no intentions of watching Worlds Collide. I sat down in front of my computer and I don't know if somebody in the group posted, "Oh, Worlds Collide is about to come on," and I
I
turned it on,
I did.
and I was just like, "I'm gonna watch now. I want to watch this. This is a moment in time. Great event,
I don't
phenomenal event.
normally watch these. Like I usually
Yeah,
just kind of stick to the Raw and the SmackDown and the WWE main stuff. I like the Lucha Libre stuff, but I didn't know anybody in this. Like I had no clue who any of these people were. I know that
correct.
the Wax Lady Bond villain was there, looking all like she's a wax figurine without her
Man,
sunglasses.
I wish I could remember. They used to have a ventriloquist dummy that
Yes.
she looked like Dr. Ruth, but
Yep.
but also I cannot remember his name. I
Um,
think it was a Hispanic lady who did the no, 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 no. This is like an old British lady or something like
It was, no, 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 no,
oh man.
it was Shari Lewis. Well, Shari Lewis was one. She had the little
Mm.
puppet, the little, like, lamb chop puppet.
Well, no, this was like an old lady puppet.
Yes.
It
No, no, I got it. Hold on. Waylon Flowers is and Madam.
yes,
Yes, that, yep.
madam.
Waylon Flowers and Madam. Okay, wow, that was old.
Great. That is
That
very
was
old. It was
yeah, that was
very
40s,
early 80s.
80s, 1980s. I'm sorry. He was
I would
born
say
in
this,
the 80s.
this
Woo!
is this is an 80s, this is an 80s, like early 80s time frame.
And she was a
Either way,
rude looking old, like, ventriloquist thing, and yes, this
yes,
woman looks just like Madam.
yes.
100%.
Very, very, very peculiar looking woman. Um, I mean, no shade to her.
No, no.
She's a millionaire.
Uh,
She's
yep.
older, somehow trying to keep it together. But I mean, no knock on you. Do what makes you happy. All right, do what makes
It
you happy.
worked.
You own AAA, you know. But but either way, I sat down and watched it. Now, I'll be totally honest. All of it was not my bag, right? I don't like LWO. I don't like Legado del Fantasma. They're not my favorite wrestlers.
Fair.
But I respected the moment. And everybody put on, because this was very important to them. Conan, although he was a terrible announcer, I
Short
could
days
tell
of
this is important to him. Like I could tell this was very, very meaningful for him. It was very meaningful for everybody in AAA, and it was meaningful for everybody involved, even including Chad Gable, including Javon Evans, the people who are not of
What's
Hispanic descent
what's
or
funny
whatever.
is, and I was reading a little bit about this, WWE did not produce this at all. Like, Triple H
Really?
was there to watch. They let Triple A produce this. This was their baby. This was
Hmm.
their I'm sure they took some input from
Yeah, of
WWE,
course.
but
Mhm.
I have friends that I'm in a group chat with that we watch wrestling and we talk all the time, and some of them weren't big fans of the, like, spot to spot to spot to spot. Like, what they do is it's a lot
Yeah.
of big spots,
Yes.
a lot of
It's AEW. That's
right.
what AEW, like it's
But it's
AEW. It's a spot fest.
but it's more poetry in their spots. Their spots are more poetic in a lot of them than just going spot to spot to spot. Like, you see some WWE matches where it's like, let's hit this spot. Okay, let's hit this spot. Theirs flows more into the match.
I think it matters a lot. Like they're entertainers. That's the one thing about Lucha Libre that I've always said. Like their brand of entertainment really is all right. We're gonna give the people who pay their hard-earned money to come see us a show every single time we go out there.
Yep.
I feel like that's the spots they hit. They hit the spots, the high spots for the
Yep.
crowd to send them home happy. That's why we get Mr. Iguana. We
Yes.
get that that's why we get that character who brings a pet iguana out there and
It's
does all these things with him
it's an
to make the
iguana
kids happy.
it's an iguana puppet. And you know what? I'm telling you, the first time he came on, I was like, all right, this dude's a little weird. But then
Yes.
when you watch the wrestlers interact with the iguana in almost the same way as with it reminded me a little of Santino with the snake
Yeah,
when
the
they did the
cobra.
snake
Mhm.
charmer bit, where it was going back and forth across the ring. Um, but it was better and it was really worked into the match. I mean, my man was dropping
Correct.
elbows on an iguana in the middle of the
Yeah.
ring, but
Lynn said
everybody
hit it with a Spanish fly, like hilarious, like
eh,
great spot, right? That's how you get one. That's how you get a character over
yep,
because that guy got over. Like his life changed at Worlds Collide.
it did. Um, La Yezga. La Yezga is the name of the iguana,
I love it.
and Dorado hit him with a standing shooting star press.
Yes, all types of shenanigans. And once again, it was there for sure entertainment. Now, I've read the reports that talking about this guy going to the main roster. I don't know how long this lasts, right? This
Right.
is this is a very novel idea. American
Hmm.
fans are fickle. I've said this a billion times. Um, so I don't know how long the novelty
Right.
like gets us. Like
You're
I
gonna
just
cheer
don't
him one
know.
night, and you may boo him the next night. You may get into a city
Correct.
that thinks it's stupid, and dumb fans are gonna boo it. And now what do you do? Like, I don't want this guy's confidence to drop because some dumb city in middle America doesn't know what this is and decides to boo it. Whereas,
Correct.
yeah, no, I agree. I don't. It'll be fun to see,
For
but
sure.
I don't know how they make it a
I mean,
lasting thing.
Santino's still going. Like,
He
Santino
is,
with his fine daughter is still going.
but
There's
I don't want to see this guy turned into a joke either. Like Vince would make this a joke, and
correct.
he doesn't deserve to be like the butt of all the jokes. And that's not the way it was presented in AAA. It wasn't presented as the butt of the jokes. It was presented as part of the match, and almost like the wrestlers respected when the iguana bit him on the shoulder.
Correct. No, and a lot of it, like you could tell, one, the guy's a good wrestler, right? If he
Yep.
can do all of those things, everything he did in that match was legit.
Yep.
Like great wrestler, good match, fun match. Like those are I'll be totally honest. Those are the type of matches I enjoy. I enjoy fun matches when it's supposed to be a fun match. Like I don't want him wrestling Cena for the title and having that type
No.
of match. But at
No.
the same time, like we know on the card, all right, Mr. Guana's coming up against Chad Gable. I know I'm gonna get an entertaining match, right? I know those two guys, they lean on each other's strengths and they're gonna have a him and Dominic Mysterio have a banger, right? They
Yep.
would have a because Dom leans into the silliness, right? Him and he going to the main roster, going to NXT, wherever he would go if he was actually because I don't know how true any of this stuff is. That could just all be internet rumors, right? We don't know.
So as
Um,
far as I'm looking while you're talking now,
mm,
he's the one that says this that WWE wants him to go straight to the main roster because he's a top merch seller right now. And
mm,
in an interview in the past, he said, "While most wrestlers dream of titles, I want to entertain the kids. That's what matters most to me. I hope they remember that, and you don't get these deep wrestling fans calling him a jobber and he's not winning. Why is he
yeah,
here to lose?" It
God, I
doesn't
hate
really
those.
seem to fit the WWE style right now.
Correct.
Maybe that'll
Correct.
change. Maybe there'll be an
Maybe it will.
iguana. Maybe there'll be an iguana on the ring mat. Maybe they'll have an advertisement.
Who knows? I know his merch is selling a lot now.
You
A
could you could
lot of
put it you could put an advertisement on the iguana, TKO.
oh my god. No comment. Fireball iguana, you know?
Jägermeister iguana.
Yeah,
Ugh.
fireball iguana.
Ugh.
But Worlds Collide, I mean, it came Vikingo and Chad Gable had
Oh,
they had a match. Vikingo matched Chad hole for hole. He went to the air. He took it to the ground.
he did some
Phenomenal
crazy
match.
stuff. He did some crazy stuff.
I remember this was about a year, maybe a little bit over that, longer than that. AEW, the home of the dream match, right? AEW, they love having dream matches.
Mhm.
And like one random Wednesday, there's collisions on Saturday. It's like on Wednesday, we're gonna have a dream match. We got Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. And everybody was like, who? What? Nobody cares. Why are you gonna, they because nobody knew who he was. They didn't have a video package for this guy. They just had a picture of him and a
Right.
picture of Kenny Omega. And it was like, all right, cool, man.
That's a Tony
Nobody
Khan doing
cared.
thing.
Yeah, it was. It
Right.
was.
Mm.
This was of course, they went out there and had an amazing match because it's
Sure.
Kenny Omega and Vikingo, right? They went out there and had a banger, but that was one of my knocks on AEW. Nobody knew who he was, right? They didn't present him.
Right.
He didn't come out 2 weeks before and like just have a enhancement match or whatever the case may be. It was just like if you didn't know him, if you weren't a fan of AAA, you would never know who he was.
I know.
Luckily for WWE, they gave us the match ahead of time. All right, this match is coming to Worlds Collide. Nobody know nobody really knew who Vikingo was unless you're a hardcore wrestling fan
Yep.
and you watched him in AEW, right? I don't watch AAA. I've never seen a Triple Mania, although they've had some of the biggest stars in the world perform at Triple Manias in the past, right? They've had Kenny Omega, they've had AJ Styles, they've had a lot of those guys go out there and
Alberto Del
perform at
Rio.
Triple Mania. Yeah, well, oh God, no comment. Um, but yeah, they've had guys go out there and perform it. I've never watched one. I never even knew
Me
how
either.
to watch it, you know. Um, but either way, they had a great match.
They
Chad
did.
Gable's fantastic.
So here's some of the things that he did. Hold on, because this site, every time I look at it, it scrolls back to the top while I'm trying to read stuff. So he did a rope walk 630 splash to the floor.
Yes,
He did a springboard twisting 450 splash.
he sure did.
Gable went for a moonsault. Vikingo ducked it and headed to the top. Gable caught him with a super pile driver. He caught Gable from a drop kick into a diving Mexican destroyer on the apron, which was one of the most brutal spots I've seen. And oh my God, was that spot awesome. Like, that was
Yes,
just crazy. This
it
match was way better than I expected it to be.
correct. I didn't know if they were gonna give it the time or the respect it was due. But those guys went out there and just they showed up, they showed out. Chad Gable showed why he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Vikingo
Yep.
showed the world that he is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
And
Smaller guy, and I kept thinking of that as the match went on. Smaller guy, had he been about 5 inches, 6 inches taller, he'd be a world champ. Like he'd be in WWE
100%.
already. Like he
100%.
would he has the look, he has the gimmick, he has the great wrestling acumen, and just eh, great match.
It was. And honestly, all the matches that they put on at Worlds Collide. We had Stephanie Vaquer had another match. So 2 nights in a row for Stephanie. MVP of
Yes,
the whole week. One of the MVPs of the weekend.
her and
Um,
Lola Vice made that whole. Never mind. Go ahead.
um, and then so we only had 4 matches scheduled for Money in the Bank. And Rey Mysterio opened up the show, and sitting in the front row was Dirty Dom and his little piece, Liv Morgan. And then they got into it with I don't want to get his name wrong. Octagon, right?
Octagon Jr. Okay,
Octagon
so
Jr.
I need you to back up for a second. The greatest luchador. Put some respect on Dominic
Which
Mysterio's
one?
name. The
Oh,
greatest luchador
that was Ellen
of all
Jr.
times, Dominic Mysterio. Your Intercontinental Champion, Dominic Mysterio. Let's put some
I
respect.
apologize.
Like
My bad.
you said that so plainly, like he was
I
just some
did.
guy sitting in
I
the first
apologize.
row. Oh, come
I
on, man.
apologize. I was focused more on what was next to him.
Yes,
The
I
belt.
get it.
I mean, the belt. The
Yeah,
belt was
the
right,
belt.
right, right.
Yes,
Um,
correct.
so they made a match for Money in the Bank to have Octagon Jr. fight Dominic Mysterio, the second greatest luchador of our generation, because the greatest luchador of this current generation was competing in Money in the Bank already. Right?
It's debatable, but I
Chad
can
hurt his
respect it. I
arm,
can respect.
and Chad's arm
He
was a
did.
little wrapped up. So during his match with Vikingo,
However
I'll
you say
get that
it. Yes.
eventually. I don't know what else you want to cover on AAA because all the matches were great. Even
Great matches.
even the people we don't normally don't normally Legado del Fantasma who are okay on SmackDown, they showed out.
T Westerhoff, you might be right, but in the island of relevancy, Dominic Mysterio, at least on my island, Dominic Mysterio is the greatest luchador. But
Hey,
but I can't debate you that
no,
Eddie's
no,
is not top two. You know,
100%.
1A, 1B. There you go, 1A, 1B.
1A, 1B.
His son Dominic Mysterio.
um, but Legato was great.
They
The
were. They were.
The Ethan Page match was great. We all picked that wrong. We all figured that Ethan was going to lose.
I knew he was gonna lose. That was a
No, he
great
won.
damn match. Yeah, he did. I thought he was gonna lose. Like
I thought he was going to. Yep,
going
same.
into there, I just knew he was gonna lose. I didn't think Ray would win, but I
Now,
thought Javon had a chance of pulling that one out.
still a great match. Javon showed he
Phenomenal
belonged.
match. Correct. That kid is like 20 years old. He's like, I think he just turned 20. He
He's
was
got
19 when he debuted in NXT.
he's got so
Scary
much
potential.
future. Yep.
Yes, scary potential because he gets it already. Like at 19,
Mhm.
I knew nothing about life. I knew nothing about where I wanted to go in life, but he's perfected
Yeah,
the craft of wrestling at an early age, which is scary.
I had zero clue at 20 years old what I was even doing with myself. No.
Correct. Correct.
But it was stellar all around. I didn't expect to sit and watch the whole thing, and I just happened to be playing baseball on my Xbox, and I was like, oh, it's on now. And there I was, sucked in the whole time. I even switched the Xbox off and put it on the TV after a little bit.
Great event. Like I think AAA gained so much from that event. And the WWE gained so much from that event because one, I mean, they own AAA, but like just the set of eyeballs. I
Yep.
mean, just like I said, like we said earlier, Mr. Iguana's life changed from this event.
Yes, it
And
did.
like it's never he honestly he could go anywhere in the world right now and one demand top dollar for any indie booking. Like that's like going from making like $50 a show, he's
Yep.
probably making like $5,000 a show. And not saying he was making $50 before, but
No, but
just
his stock rose immensely.
Correct.
And then we move across the street.
So I don't like the Intuit Dome. Like I don't like it.
Not a fan.
The lights, I mean, I love I love the LED surrounding, like that top
Yeah.
LED. I love that. You mentioned that it was empty. It did feel that way because of the lighting. It looked
Yes
terrible
and no.
on.
It was empty. It was empty at the beginning because there was a protest outside and people couldn't get into the arena. And I read this later on. So there was some kind of protest. I don't know what it's about. It's not whatever, but that held people from coming into the match at first. So when the hard camera went to that side for the first couple of minutes of that women's match, it was dead in there. And I saw people tweeting and oh yeah, they said sold out. No, it ended up being a huge sellout. It was packed.
Oh yeah.
But the first match, it was a little light, and it definitely looked weird with the lights and thinking the lights are people, and then kind of looking as
correct. It was very weird. I didn't like it.
Now
I loved it for the Netflix show, but
yep.
for some reason it just didn't work. It might have been because, like you said, it was empty because of the protests outside.
Right.
But man, oddly, it opened with the women's Money in the Bank, which I thought was going to be the main event, and neither Money in the Bank ended up being the main event, which was an
Kind of
odd
weird.
choice. Yeah,
That was a
odd
choice.
choice, which kind of led me to believe that we might have gotten a cash in. But we start with the woman's Money in the Bank, and the right
Woo!
person won. I don't think. I'll be totally honest. I didn't think this is the greatest Money in the Bank match I've ever seen. I thought it was clunky. I thought that there wasn't a lot of good chemistry in the match. It just it was a good match, but it had the potential to be a great match with all of the people involved.
There definitely were some moments where you got some interactions that you wouldn't have normally gotten. Stephanie hitting her move on the ladder was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
This was her third match in 24 hours. Rhea got the Brock Lesnar treatment. She got buried under the ladders and stayed there for like 10 minutes. And when they did that, I was like, all right, she's going to win. There you go. You just put Rhea off to the side and she's going to come in and pick up that win.
Yeah, at the last minute. Yep.
I thought there was some really, really good spots, but it didn't have the impact that other matches had. Money in the Bank women's matches. I thought there were a lot of really, really good spots, and because you have a bunch of ladies that haven't done this match before, it's definitely going to be a little clunky. I mean, this was Rhea's first ever ladders match. Julia, Roxanne. I mean, I guess it kind of balanced out because Naomi's been in a couple, and Alexa's been in a couple, and who am I missing?
The sixth person. Well, Julia, Roxanne, Naomi, Rhea, Alexa. Wow,
Naomi.
man.
No, that was it.
No, we're missing one.
Roxanne.
Did I say Naomi?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Naomi,
goodness. Okay.
Alexa, and Naomi and Alexa were the only two that have been in them before. Rhea, Stephanie, Julia, and Roxanne were
Stephanie.
not.
That's what I forgot. Okay, got it.
How do we miss Stephanie? I'm sorry, Booker.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good match, but it wasn't a great match, and I think the right person won.
Oh, of course. I was wondering how they were going to get to the win. I thought the finish was kind of lackluster. Like I just Naomi just kind of knocked somebody off. Usually there's like a huge spot, somebody hits like some off the ladder finisher or something,
right?
And then the heel, either gets James Ellsworth to go up to the Money in the Bank. I don't know if you remember that one. James Ellsworth just shows up out of the crowd, goes and throws them the Money in the Bank. You just have like a moment, and it didn't feel like a moment.
No.
Of course, it did for Naomi because once she grabbed the briefcase, it was just like, oh, she's gonna win that, because it just felt too easy. Almost like when she went up there, I was like, what? That just seems really easy.
It while she was up there trying to unhook it, I'm like, something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna hit the ladder. They're not gonna give it to her. Oh shit, they gave it to her. Awesome.
They gave it to her.
Love it. Because what she's doing with the briefcase is a next level. We all said she's gonna wrap it in caution tape. This woman stuffed that briefcase. A video came out today.
Yes.
With a taser, knives,
A butterfly knife,
Butterfly
like a
knife,
switchblade,
tape,
like
like, it's crazy what she
oh,
stuffed in there.
man. Yeah,
I can't
TSA,
wait I can't
wrong.
wait to see her actually open it because all them briefcases are usually empty.
Correct, correct.
This one ain't empty.
Every time,
This ain't empty.
every single time. Nobody's carrying a briefcase with stuff in it. Come on.
She hit somebody with the
Not even
briefcase.
a paper, not even a piece
No,
of paper, right?
she
Not
hit
even the contract.
if she hits somebody with this briefcase with all that stuff in it, she gonna kill someone.
I mean, hey, Jade, she
Eh,
does already doesn't like Jade. She's
she
already
don't like
pushed her onto a parked car. So I mean, Naomi definitely was the right choice. I thought so Booker, I mean not Booker, Biggie almost broke her in the post show,
yeah.
talking about how proud he was of her, and she's just sitting there holding it and trying to be a heel. And it was like, man, she started yelling at the crowd, and I was like, man, you know what? Naomi, she's had a run. She's had her share of runs, and she deserves this one.
She
She's earned
does.
this because I mean, if you have Road Dogg writing your show and you still have a great you still have a great program, bless you, man. You deserve whatever you get because her, Jade, Bianca, they've told a story for a very long time, but it doesn't feel like it ever got stale.
No,
At
and
least to me.
she has one more thing in the briefcase I forgot to mention. She has a little action figure of Jimmy.
Nice.
Little action
Nice.
figure tucked in one of the little things is a little action figure of Jimmy.
Hey, you know what? Jimmy should be scared. That might be her
I would
voodoo
be very
doll,
scared.
making sure you don't do nothing crazy while she's gone.
But
Um,
it didn't look like anybody got seriously injured. It looked like there were some
nope.
malfunctions with some of the ladders and,
Yes.
that's
Yes, I think that was part of it when not Alexa, Roxanne and was it Julia? Yeah,
Julia.
they were trying to do things with the ladder and nothing was working. And you
Nope.
could tell, like you said, this is their first time operating the ladder.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you think.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it didn't ruin the match for me.
No,
Like
no, not at all.
it didn't ruin the match at all. It was a good match. I just thought with the talent involved, it could have gone to a whole different level. And it kind of stayed at a level. It started to show off right. The right person won. The crowd was actually hot for Naomi winning.
Huge.
Even they booed, but at the same time, a lot more people cheered, I think, for her winning
Yeah.
than they did boo because they understand the reality of the situation. Did we have Dom? Did Dom fight Octagon
Dom fought
next?
second. Yep.
There we go. So the greatest intercontinental champion of all time, the greatest luchador of all time, challenged Octagon Jr. after Octagon Jr. just had a match, which was completely so random. Like
It was.
it was so random how he just like pointed him out of the group. It's like at first he got to there, start running people down, and was like, "No, I'm gonna fight you tonight." And I was like,
Right.
"Okay, all right," and I'm gonna put my Intercontinental title. And for a second, I thought they were gonna put the title on Octagon Jr. I was like, "That's so random."
Well, I half thought that too because we picked all the belt changes wrong. We thought Eddie was going to lose. We thought Vikingo was going to lose, and Chad was going to have that belt. And hey, maybe they're going to swerve and they're going to put the belt on him. And no, they did not.
They
And that's
did not.
fine. That's
I
fine. I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
it was an
I was
okay match.
wondering where they would have went if they put the title on. Like I really started thinking right when they made that match, I was like, oh man, they might put a WWE title on a AAA person to kind of
Yep.
close the weekend, for AAA in a positive note. No, I mean Dominic's great, man. Like
Dominic does
he
what
has
Dominic
gotten
does.
so much better in the ring. Those two had a better match than I thought it would be. It wasn't, a five-star classic, but it was
No,
a really, really fun match.
and Dom's getting cheered a lot more. Even as much as he tries to get some heat now, he's getting cheered a lot. They're either going to have to turn him or he's going to have to do something really despicable to get the booze.
The only thing I think he could do despicable to get booze is turn on Liv.
Which I could
And
see coming if
yeah, I
they
could see that coming. Because I mean, it just Dom's the luckiest human being on the planet, right?
He
He
really
just
is.
is. He just is. He has the ratty mustache. Uh, he has Eddie Guerrero's moveset along with part of Rey Mysterio's moveset, like
And Eddie Guerrero's mullet.
and the mullet. But he has all these people pound over him, bringing them chicken nuggies, and he just puts on banger of matches, man. Like 3 years ago, I would have just like this. I thought he was gonna wash out. I'll be totally honest, because he didn't have the look. When he
Nope.
was next to Rey Mysterio, he was always just a guy next to Rey Mysterio. He was his son.
He looked like a
It
little
was
kid.
He did. It was a nepotism at its finest,
Mm-hmm.
but he grew into a great wrestler. Like he's a really great performer now, and he just understands the business. I mean, he grew up around the business, but he takes it seriously. He respects it. And he just carries himself like he's the greatest luchador of all time. I love it.
I I thought it was a pretty good match, and they
Mhm.
did a quick little, pan through the crowd, and Mr. Iguana was there and got a huge cheer.
Huge pop. Like
Huge.
man, that guy, he won the weekend. I'll be
I
totally
think
honest.
so.
Like I feel like he won the weekend, whether it be Money in the Bank or Worlds Collide.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Um, and then we went to another match.
Who's
And then we went to
was
Lyra versus the man Becky Lynch.
Becky Hogan?
We
Um,
knew the outcome of this match.
of course,
We knew what was going to happen. It wasn't a bad match, though. It was actually a pretty damn good match between the two of them.
they have the greatest chemistry.
They
Like I
really
want to
do.
say, they have such good chemistry because everything they did looked organic. Everything they did looked fluid. Everything they did looked
Yep.
it didn't feel staged. Like
No.
it really was either a well-planned and well-booked match, or they really do just flow with each other because everything they did in that match, it started off hot, like there was that hatred.
Yep.
If only they could promo. Like if only I cared when they spoke
Yeah.
into the mic, this would be the greatest feud. This would be up there because they put on banger matches.
It just
Good match.
it feels like Becky whines when she talks now and just complains. Like her as a heel, she's fine as a heel when she's wrestling, but when she's talking, like I do like what they did in the little press conference afterwards. While she was talking, they cut away from her to go to Naomi,
Yes.
which was great
Yes.
because she was in mid sentence. Now
Yes.
I didn't watch the whole press con. I just saw a clip of it, but
Yeah.
um, Becky ends up winning the match with a handful of tights. The camera didn't catch the correct angle. Now, whether or not that was on purpose or not, it doesn't seem like it was on purpose, but they're working it into the angle.
Yeah.
So the camera angle was in front instead of behind to see her grab the thing, and the ref was where the ref was supposed to be.
Correct. I mean, tried and true finish doesn't make Lyra look bad.
No,
I just
um,
I didn't like that finish for this specific match. I don't know why. Can't really it just maybe it was too sudden. I felt like the match was really kind of reaching its peak, but didn't reach its peak.
nope. And then all of a sudden it's over.
Um, and then it was over.
Now,
Not as good as their last match, but
no,
still a good match.
oh yeah. Now the post match shenanigans. The stipulation in the match was that if Becky won, Lyra had to raise her hand, and she did,
Correct.
and that wasn't good enough for Becky. Becky wanted the Hulk Hogan,
Yes. Four
the four
corners.
poses,
Yep. Yep.
and then she wanted her to put the belt around her waist. And Lyra had enough and German suplexed her and got out of there. Okay, I like that. I like that
I
she
thought that
kept
went on a little too long,
it
but
went on a
okay.
little too long, but I like the fact that she pushed her and pushed her and pushed her, and Lyra showed a little bit of backbone,
For
and
sure. For sure.
that was fine. Um, I still think we gotta get rid of the wings, but that's another topic.
That might be the only thing I like about Live of Valkyria. That might that might that might be her saving
I,
grace for me,
I
which is
dig
I think is funny.
I dig her entrance music. It's something that the crowd pops to, and the crowd gives the woos with her, and it's catchy. But Becky also still has the crowd eating out of her hand.
Oh yeah, Becky can't be a heel. Like no matter what, even when she comes out there on Monday night, she still gets a huge pop. Her music hits. She has that type of intro music, no matter heel face, you pop for it. She's
It,
the man, she's the worst person in the world, but like you just that whoa, that just
it
gets you going, man.
it's the
You know,
same thing that Seth Rollins has. That the
correct.
rumors that they're going to be giving him new music, which I really
Please
agree
don't.
with,
I
as,
don't.
as long as it's not Def Rebel,
Yeah,
I'm okay
yeah,
with it. But
they gonna
I
give him
think
like some random guitar riff.
he needs new music just to get away from the crowd being on his side.
But
We'll get there.
like, does he though? Like, I mean, does
Um,
the crowd being on his side really matter when he still does heinous things?
I guess not,
Like
because even though Braun's a heel, the crowd loves him too. They're
the
barking at him all
dogs,
the time.
oh my gosh, the dog, like they show him on the camera every like
Well, Pat McAfee also pushed that hard too.
yes.
Um,
I love I love Braun. I
so
love the crowd for like the way they treat Braun.
after the Becky match, we get the men's match. And the men's match was a little bit of a weird grouping of men
Very,
when you look at it at
very.
first. You had Seth Rollins, LA Knight. I think my voice just cracked. I think I'm hitting puberty again. Solo, Andrade, Penta, and the second greatest luchador currently wrestling in all of wrestling right now, El Grande Americano, who may or may not have been wrestling his second match of the day, but that's neither
He was
here nor there.
taped up. I think maybe on his flight he might have slept on his arm
It's
wrong.
it
Like
maybe,
that was it. Like
or he
that
taped
happens
up,
to me all the time.
or he taped up in solidarity with his best friend Chad Gable.
That is possibility. I mean, Chad was hurt. They're like they might be twins. Have we not we who knows, man.
All that joking around aside, WWE messed up with the selling of the mask. They're selling the El Grande Americano mask, and on the tag it says Chad Gable's mask on the
I
UPC
didn't see
code.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Chad Gable's El Grande Americano mask. It says
Oh
on the
my god.
UPC code. Somebody
That's
getting fired.
hilarious. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But the men's match, there were a lot of different little stories being told in the men's match that worked better than the women's match, because
Yes,
there's a lot more seasoned ladder match participants in this
correct.
match.
I'll be totally honest. I walked into the match. I knew Seth Rollins was going to win,
Mhm.
but at parts of that match, I had my doubts, and that makes a good match for me.
Correct.
At one point, I thought Andrade was about to win. I was like, "There's no way," but Andrade put on a nice little show, and at
Yes, he
one
did.
point in time, he went up that ladder, and I was like, "Are they about to? Are they about to do? Are they about to pull a Jinder Mahal and have a Andrade win the Money in the Bank? Like that would have been so crazy. I think that would have been the only thing that actually ruined the evening if Andrade would have won
I
because
think so.
nobody would have popped. Like nobody,
Yeah.
everybody would just look there in silence and confusion. Um, but good match. I enjoyed this match. There was a lot of crazy spots in this one.
There were a lot of really, really crazy spots. And one of my favorite spots happened when Solo was going up the ladder. And and
Would
and as Solo's going up the ladder, Jacob grabbed his leg, and Solo's trying to looking around all like with goofy faces, like, what could possibly be stopping me? Uh. And then he looked down and he saw Jacob holding his leg. And Jacob yelled out the words that everybody wanted to hear Jacob say. And he yelled
I
out,
hate you. So.
I hate you, Solo. Pulled him off the ladder and killed him.
Yeah. So, but prior to that, you I've grown to become a huge Solo fan. The
Mhm.
entire match, all he did was like he just mocked everybody. He did the Penta walk at one point in time. He kept doing the LA Knight thing. He ke- he he was doing the chat. He was doing the thank you or gracias. Hilarious.
He was
He was
great.
so good in this match. He was so good in this match.
His faces were just his faces were great. Like, when they all turned and looked at him, and he's going like,
Yes,
it just his faces s add to his character now. He's so
correct.
much better than the trying to be the brute street tough guy that runs everything. Now, be a little bit of comedy in there with you. Now it's working for me.
Man, he was the highlight because up until that point, when Jacob and JC showed up, I was like, "Is Solo really?" Once again, makes a good match, right? We
Yep.
all knew Seth was gonna win, but
Yep.
there were points in that match where other people looked like they had a real shot at winning the match. And that's what makes wrestling wrestling because you know it's predicted, you know that the outcome has already been predetermined. But when you can go into the match and at some point in the match, it flips from I know that guy's gonna win to wait, maybe he might do it.
Yep.
That's a good match, and the Jacob spot was great.
Yep.
Jacob spot was definitely great. Solo Jacob. I love that they kept Jacob away from Braun, but
Yes.
at some point we got to get it.
It'll
Like we
happen, I
can't
think.
hold up. We can't hold
Now,
off too long.
because at one point in the match, Seth called down Braun and Bronson. And
Yep.
I look, I it was overbooked at the end, but in a match like this, overbooking works.
Yes,
Like,
unless at the end of the match Brock Lesnar's music hit and he just goes and climbs the ladder and takes the briefcase.
see, I would have been happy with that. But like the main event in WrestleMania 40 was overbooked to the maximum,
Correct.
but it worked for what that was. There are certain matches where you overbook like that and you're like, "Oh, man, come on."
I completely agree. I feel like this one wasn't as overbooked as I thought it was gonna be. Cause like
No,
you
it
could
could have been
it
worse.
could have went so many different ways, but
What's up,
because I
Maddie?
thought once once you had Brock, Braun and Bronson, and then you had Jacob and JC. That's funny how both of their names are J.
It's it's so good.
um once you had those two, I thought more people were gonna show up. I thought this was gonna turn into like that TLC where like everybody had their managers come out and just somehow
Yep.
help their people win. I'm glad it didn't devolve into
Same.
that.
And
But at the
I'm
same
glad
time,
CM Punk didn't come out. I'm glad Roman Reigns didn't come out.
correct,
Roman, who has wrestled 3 matches in 2025. That's okay. My tribal chief
correct.
needs to relax and rest up.
$52
Um,
million worth every dollar.
everyone.
5
But
million a match.
yeah, we knew Seth was going to win, and Seth won. And now the most dangerous man in wrestling has the briefcase that he could call in and cash it at any time. Maybe he'll cash it in on Monday Night Raw. We'll see.
Maybe he would. Then we get to the main event,
Yeah,
which I felt like that was the perfect time to cash in.
it should have been. It
Like
could have been.
I felt like because when honestly I forgot that match was going to happen. I assumed that the men's Money in the Bank match was the last match. That was the go home match.
Listen,
Um,
John Cena is the last match when John Cena's on the card.
Touche. You're right. You're 100% right. Like
The GOAT.
once they said the match, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense because this is John Cena's last time
Yep.
at the Inuit Dome or Inuit Stadium, whatever they call it. And this is last time in Money in the Bank. So you're right. He
Sure.
deserves to main event every single. Are they the best matches? No. But does he deserve to main event every single time? Yes.
Does he get the 5
He's
moves of doom in? Yes. John Cena?
correct.
John Cena. Yeah.
Yes. So we get to Cody, Jay. They come out
That was
matching,
nice.
yeah, cute. Then you get Logan. John Cena, Logan Paul is phenomenal.
It
Logan
really
Paul,
is.
the drone spot was one of the greatest spots I think I've ever seen. It was so well done, and scrubs can't do that.
Now,
Like a guy who doesn't understand how to wrestle or know how to wrestle and understand one technology enough to hold. I mean, it was perfect.
it
Like
was.
such a great spot, man. Like that was
Watching Cody
people.
come up the ropes while he's standing there from the drone was like, wow. And then the drone
Yes.
doing the whole spot was like,
And he lands and he's still holding the drone
yep,
looking at his I was like, this guy,
he
he
gets it.
gets it. You could boo him all you want. You could call him, like, you could say whatever you want about Logan Paul. He is a damn good wrestler and he understands the business at an early stage in his wrestling career. You know, he's
Not
not super
only
young, but
not only did he do that spot, but he went to John Cena before the match and said that he wanted to work a certain spot in. And Cena went, "You're never going to make that." And he went, "I can do this." And Cena went, "You're not going to make that." He did a springboard off the ropes backflip onto the table. I was Jay, right? Was it Jay?
yes.
On the Jay, laying on the table from the ring.
Second rope, not even the top rope, not even like the second rope.
Which is
That's so impressive.
the whole, it was so impressive. Um, Cody did a little Stardust cartwheel because
Yeah,
come
yes.
okay.
Because he has to show Logan Paul that he's athletic too, right?
He does.
So he can, I can he has to he love Cody. He's so corny. He's
He
such a
is.
corny dude, man.
I
Like
don't love him, but
bless his
I
heart, man.
appreciate him. I
Yeah.
appreciate what he's doing for the business.
Yes, correct. Correct. He's such a
Logan
corny
hits
dude though.
Logan hit a splash on Cena by accident. Um, just that moonsault was ridiculous.
It was.
It was ridiculous.
Not the greatest match of all, like,
No,
because at some
but
point I kinda checked out until the Logan, the drone spot, the
after the
backflip
table,
spot.
he did the cartwheel with a lisp. Matt said, "I don't like him at all." After he did the moonsault onto the table, Cena was alone in the ring with Cody, and the ref was watching Logan. And John picked up that belt, and oh my God, was that the worst belt shot I think I've ever seen. I think he missed him by 10 feet. The way he ran up to him, and he was just, and he didn't even run up to him. It's like he slow walked up to him and just was like,
Yeah.
eh. Like, I'm
Uh,
John Cena. I don't
uh,
have to try at this point. Eh.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's
it
it's
knocked
time to
him
go
out.
home, guys.
And
Yes.
it knocked him out. And then the shock of the night,
A hooded
a,
figure.
a hooded figure dressed all in black jumped in the ring. And we're standing around the TV going, "Who's that? Is that Roman? Is that Roman?" And I saw the pant leg go up, and I yelled,
Yes.
"Truth."
You know, for some reason, I'm not gonna lie. Cause like you saw his back, right? At some point during when he was on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I thought that might have been Trick Williams for some reason.
That would have worked.
They're not gonna bring Truth back. Like that, like
Right.
what? Truth just got released, right? They're not gonna bring Truth back. He took off that mask.
And
I literally was in shock.
so was I. So were we. The place erupted. He
As they
cracked him
should.
with the belt. 1, 2, 3. Cody wins. And Jay.
Yes.
And then Cody admitted in the press conference afterwards, not that anybody knew this, that the last time the two of them did a press conference as a tag team, they were drunk. Not that anybody realized that.
What after WrestleMania? They would
When they won
they
the
were
belts, they were a
they
little
were
bit.
inebriated?
Little bit.
What? I
Little bit.
couldn't tell. They were so professional during that press conference. I would never have known that
No,
unless he
never.
just said it a year later.
Yeah. Way to bring it up now.
Yeah, right. So
But
random.
I thought that was a great way to end the match because at this point
Correct.
now, everybody in the world, nobody has any idea what the F is going on. Now, before we go to the Raw stuff,
Yes.
you wanted to you were going you wanted to do you think it was a work or it was real? What do you think?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop. internet internet people, let's stop. All you internet sleuths, the Dave Meltzers, the Sean Roth Saps. Is that his name? Sean? Yeah, I
Sean
think
Ross
that's the
Sapp
name.
from Fightful.
Yes. Yeah, from Fightful Select because he has to say that 20 times. Respect to you, by the way. I watch Sean Roth Sapp sometime. I watch Denise
Mhm.
Salcedo. I watch Fightful every now and then. I don't subscribe to Fightful because I don't need you spoiling everything for me.
No,
And I don't need y'all telling me what's a work and what's not a work.
no,
Does it matter? No.
no.
Like, that's what I think. I don't care whether it was a work or not. I don't think it was a work. I think that they were not going to renew his contract, and everybody decided that they wanted his contract renewed. I was disappointed. I was sad last week when I found out that he was going to be gone because he deserved to finish his story the way he wanted it to.
Yes,
Is he going to win a world title? Probably not. Is he gonna but can he go out on his own terms? Apparently, yes, he can. Like, now he gets a chance to go out on his own term. Do we know what his contract is? Nope. It could be 6 months, it could be 2 years, it could be 15 years. He could have signed a lifetime contract
they
to
could have.
go out as a WWE guy.
Could be a
Um,
Legends contract, and we just don't know it yet. But he's
could
doing
be,
it under his name. What do
but
I
he's
think?
doing
I think that they released him, and that the
oh for
fan backlash was so overwhelming that this was one of those moments where they had to go, all right, let's bring him back. At the same time, Carlito's like this. Hello, hello, hey.
You guys want my PlayStation back? Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Come
you,
on.
you
If
guys
you
want to
want
play?
the
You guys want to
PlayStation
play
back,
video games in the clubhouse?
yes.
Hello, but
Get
look,
me back.
look, and we'll talk about what he's doing with his character in a few minutes because apparently he was on Busted Open,
I watched
and
that.
I watched that little clip of him on Busted Open where he went off. So he's walking a line right now, and I like what they're doing with this. Um, but Raw.
We'll, we're definitely gonna get to that. Raw. What did Raw open up with? Did it open up with the Money in the Bank winner himself, Seth freaking Rollins?
CM Punk opened Raw.
No, did he?
He did.
Oh my goodness!
He
I,
did.
I
The
my memory's
greatest in the
terrible.
world opened up Raw.
And Seth, it
Talking,
wasn't Seth Rollins. Wait a minute. Wait a
it was
minute.
not. No,
Come on.
that's the visionary. That's the visionary.
Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah, you're right.
he
You're right.
he started it off.
No, John Cena started off.
The Cena started off
Cena,
and Punk came down.
yes,
Okay, I got it backwards.
Cena came out.
I got it backwards.
Cena came out, and then Punk
That's
came
right.
down.
That's right.
Mhm.
Because Cena
Yep,
started. Cena started it on the crowd again. And
correct.
I'll tell you what. Right now, so his heel promos have been a little bit weaker. This was a stronger one. This promo with Punk was strong. This was where he needed to be. Then Punk came down and got in his mush.
CM
And
Punk gave the best promo that I think CM Punk has given in a while. If you've not watched the show, you know I'm not the world's biggest CM Punk fan.
a little bit.
But boy, he had me on his side because he was out there spitting facts on Monday, and
He was.
he sold this match. He sold him and John Cena. He
But
sold all of that stuff, man. That was a damn good
it
promo.
was a great promo. And Cena turned around and used Saudi Arabia against Punk. We know that Punk has been very, not so much outspoken, but definitely doesn't want to go over there. He's got his
Correct.
issues. and personally, and there's reasons why he doesn't want to go over there. You can look him up online. That's his reasons.
Yeah.
John Cena said that if you want, they made him look like they're gonna have the match right there, and I love when they do that. Get the crowd all hyped up, and he's like, "No,
not here.
if
Not
you
not in
want this
this not
match,
in this dump.
you have to come to Night of Champions and fight me in Saudi Arabia." Now, Punk didn't answer him right there. Later on in the night, Adam Pearce, the thing came up, and Adam Pearce said, or he didn't say, but the promo came up that Cena Punk Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Punk's going.
It's official. It's official.
He's going. We really don't know if he's
yes.
actually going to go.
Oh, he's gonna go. Come on.
I mean,
like,
this is the match. This is the SummerSlam match. That should not be Night of Champions for this. This should be the SummerSlam main event. CM Punk versus John Cena. Two men that can't go real long.
So, what does WWE like more than anything else on this planet?
Running it back.
Money.
Oh,
they love money.
Well, yeah.
Like, so I thought the next thing for John Cena was going to be his get back on R-Truth. Saudi ain't paying WWE to, and no, I don't. We're not gonna get political, but Saudi ain't paying WWE to bring R-Truth to fight John Cena in Saudi. They're gonna bring. John Cena's lucky he ain't fighting Goldberg in Saudi. Like they love nostalgia acts. They love the old guys. He's lucky he's not fighting the Undertaker. They will pay every bit of penny that they have to get their guys over there to fight their guys. John Cena, last chance, he has to have a match there. Yep. What's the biggest match that John Cena can have other than Cody? And right Cody is over, but he ain't over. He ain't Saudi over. Like he ain't over CM Punk in Saudi.
Money.
Like they love themselves some money. WWE will
and John take that money tour. That's going to bring all the money. A couple of highlights from their little promo. John Cena called everybody spineless keyboard warriors. Yes.
He's not wrong.
He implored the fans not to use your voice and send me the class clown again, referencing R-Truth.
Love that. I love that so much. There was a little like I felt like there was a little bit of realism in that.
A little bit.
But at the same time, I think he knows where it's going from now.
Yep.
Because you're not going to get the class clown anymore. You're about to get.
CM Punk asked him and said, I'm here to defend the people. Are you mad because the establishment picked you and the fans never did? Stabbed him right in the heart with that one. And then
coming from Punk, that makes me upset, but I'll allow it. Like,
and then Punk said he has to become the monster to stop the monster. Basically compared him to Roman Reigns.
Great line. That sold the fight for me.
Yep.
In order to I have to become the monster to slay the monster. That sold the fight to me. This is gonna be a terribly average wrestling match because I don't think either one of these guys are elite like they were in Chicago and Money in the Bank so many years ago.
No.
We're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get a kiss goodbye in Saudi Arabia, which would actually be awesome.
It would.
But John's gonna win. Punk's gonna lose. Seth's probably gonna cost Punk in this match, so we get back to Seth and Punk. Oh God.
Well, that's gonna be your SummerSlam match, but I think the second match of the night I didn't watch. I won't lie. I was late coming to Raw from doing the other show. I watched the beginning and then I hit just go live. I totally didn't watch AJ versus Chad.
A solid match. I think I was actually playing on my phone during the match. Like I'll be totally honest. Like AJ and Chad could phone in a great match if they want to. But it's Monday Night Raw. They're not about to pull out all the stops, which they didn't.
Ready to go.
AJ won, and
this was again Chad had his arm taped up in support of his best friend El Grande Americano, and lots of that other tape
Correct.
on his other elbow, on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I
The
use that tape.
Cesaro
That tape's great. That stuff works. I had a calf thing and used it.
I've
That
used it
stuff works.
once.
Oh, that stuff's good.
I wanted to sue Cesaro because I used it on my shoulder. I mean, I found out I had so many other shoulder issues, but I
Right.
used that tape because Cesaro used to always come down, and I used
Uh-huh.
that tape when I was still in Army, and it did nothing for my shoulder because I had so many torn ligaments in my shoulder.
Let me
And that doesn't like glue, that doesn't actually repair those. Like it
no.
doesn't, not,
It doesn't
not what it
repair it,
repairs.
but it did help my calf. Let me just say I hated, and hate's a strong word. I hated Wade Barrett during Raw because Wade kept trying to be the heel commentator, but then sometimes he was really nice, and then he would go back to being the heel commentator, and then he would go back to being he just didn't like Jerry Lawler was Jerry Lawler. Pat McAfee is Pat McAfee. Wade Barrett does not seem to understand or know what he wants his own role to be as a commentator.
He has too many boys backstage, and I
Right.
feel like that's where it comes in. He wants to respect his boys
Right.
by putting them over, whether they're good or bad.
Right.
When you're trying to be the antithesis to Michael Cole,
Right.
right?
And it
Pat doesn't try
no,
to do that because
no,
he knows that he because that's not his role.
no.
But Wade is trying to be that, but he's not doing that.
It works when Pat's there and he's the third guy. It works.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It didn't work for me.
I honestly tune Wade Barrett out. Like his voice annoys me so much. I'm not a big fan of Wade.
Neither am I. But I like Wade more than I like Corey. So that works. Then we have the women's Queen of the Ring Fatal 4-Way.
Banger.
Rhea Ripley versus Kairi Sane versus Roxanne Perez versus Liv Morgan. Before the match,
Banger.
Roxanne tried to ask Liv to team up. Let's help each other so that one of us gets to go. And Liv don't want no parts of little chicken nugget girl at all.
Nope. And
Leaving
Finn's
Dom,
just standing there just loving it.
Finn's loving it, and Dom's kind of like, what do I do?
Yeah. What do we? Yes.
What do I do?
Yes. Yes.
What do I do?
Yes.
This was a hell of a great match.
It was.
This was just such a great, fun match.
Every now and then,
go ahead.
Every now and then, I want to dump on Rhea Ripley, right? Every now and then, I want to, and then she just goes out there and shows she's a damn great wrestler.
Yep.
Like she goes out there and just like, I'm really good at this. You could say they're forcing me down your throat, but I really do this every week at a high level. And she did.
So good. And
yes,
so ridiculously over still.
Yes.
And I assumed Rhea's going to win. Rhea's going to go to the next round. Queen of the Ring. That's how Rhea gets back in the title picture.
Correct.
I was wrong.
But
I'm not having a good weekend. Picking matches.
The little engine that could. Roxanne Perez. I don't know if anybody's really paying attention, but they have strapped the rocket on Roxanne. She's not doing everything big. She's not over the top. She's not in your face every week.
Nope.
But every week she's showing up and she's showing out. She's having great match after great match. She's smaller than everybody, and her and Rhea have really good chemistry.
Yep.
Like they have ridiculously good. Her and Liv have ridiculously good chemistry. Kairi Sane is working her way back. Like she was the fourth wheel in all of this, which doesn't make any sense because never mind. You know what I meant. She was the fourth. She was the outsider. I felt like in this match because she was the one person that nobody thought could win, and she's working her way back. Kairi Sane's a great wrestler. She's top tier. She's just not there yet because she's been out with the injury for damn near over a year or something like that. But Roxanne, she just gets it, man. She is gonna do well. I don't think she'll win the Queen of the Ring, but
No, I
then
want to
again, I
see
don't
how
know who's gonna win the Queen of the Ring.
I want to see how how this fills out a little more, with the men too, because it's really a little early to tell
Yeah.
who. Maybe once we get to the next round of what's it going to be? Four? Should be four,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, 4.
It's 4-2. Yeah, then it might be easier to pick it. It was a great match, and I love Roxanne.
Yes.
And then
Great
Becky's
win.
music hits, and I was like, oh man, here we go.
That was a low light of Raw, honestly, when
It was
she
a
started
low
talking.
light until the end of her promo.
Correct. Lyra came out there. She looked like an upset kid on the playground who somebody took the swing that she wanted to swing on, that she swung on every day. She walked down there and she was looking all angry. She looked like the chicken hawk. You remember the chicken hawk from Looney Tunes? She looked like that.
Uh,
And I was just like, don't do this again, guys, because I don't want to hear this.
I don't.
And then out of nowhere, my girl came and she saved me. She
I
saved the whole world.
I don't know how. I understand that they're professionals, and I understand that they practice this stuff. But when you have someone run at you and punch you in the back like that and knock you forward, I don't
Yes.
know how you just don't go, what the like.
Whiplash, man. Like
Bailey
getting
came out
snuck
of
is serious.
Bailey came out of the crowd, slid into the ring, bam. Off goes Becky. Bailey staying strong, doesn't have to say a word.
Nope.
I love it. It's about time she's back. And I was
Love Bailey.
I was calling her Pam and not liking her, and I turned that corner.
Love
I turned
Bailey.
the corner.
I've loved Bailey for so long. She's such a great wrestler.
Yes.
The
And
best of
Bailey
the
did,
four horsewomen. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and that's like the hottest take. I hate using the word hot take, but Bailey is the best wrestler out of the four horsewomen, hands down.
speaking of hot take, Matt's hot take. How hot did Bailey look? With a little fire
Man,
emoji. He's right.
ding dong.
He's right.
Ding dong, hello. Yes,
Ding
you
dong.
are 100% right. Boy, I love Bailey. Love her.
And then we had the R Truth. I'm sorry, the Ron Killings.
Bailey didn't say a word. He just
Nope.
showed up like he just walked up out of
Came
nowhere.
from behind them and jumped up on the announce table and just cut this. I was totally out of left field promo where
Correct.
he's he's speaking his truth, wants people to put respect on his name, and thanks the fans for bringing him back. Pulls some scissors out of his pocket, cuts his dreads off, and then tells people that they're going to put respect on his name. And now we got a completely different Ron Killings than we had as our truth.
Our truth.
And this leads into what he did on Busted Open a little bit, where he did a shirtless interview.
Very off-putting about it. I don't know why. Why he wrestles with no shirt on every week, but for some reason, when he just pops up on the screen with no shirt on, I was like, why don't he have a shirt on? But go ahead.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw the part where he melted down. But it's like he's walking this fine line where he wants respect and he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, and he's looking for revenge, but he's still on the fan side, so he's still a good guy. Are we going to get him on his own little revenge tour, going after the Miz, going after people that have ridiculed him or made him the butt of jokes? Is that where we're going to get with this Ron Killings?
I hope not.
I don't want a vindictive, nasty Ron Killings, but I also understand him not leaning into the comedy as much and being a more serious wrestler. Get me a US belt. Get me maybe into the intercontinental scene. I don't see him winning a heavyweight belt, but get me something. And Matt said this to me. It reminded Matt of Mick Foley turning into Cactus Jack versus Triple H. I'm down for it.
This is scary territory we're in right now, right? So, and the reason why I say that is our truth is beloved, right? And
Yep.
why is he beloved? He's a comedy act. He comes out there, he entertains millions of people every week. If one thing he did, no matter what, he entertained you. He kept you engaged.
Yeah.
Now he's turning over a new leaf. Now he started the promo on Raw. Don't let anybody tell you you don't matter, and that was powerful, right?
Yep.
Like in that in the don't let anybody tell you your voice doesn't matter, and that was really and you could tell he was saying that from the heart. Like all of that stuff came from the heart.
100%.
Um, I didn't like when he cut his dreads. When I saw those scissors, I was like, please don't do this. Like he cut his dreads. Now the way he has his hair now, he got like all these lines cut in it. It doesn't look terrible.
No, it looks better
Um,
that he fixed
it-
it. It did not look
yes,
good.
yeah,
It
oh,
did
yeah.
not look
It,
good on
did-
the
it
table.
correct, correct. Um, but now we got a different. We don't have our truth, right? We don't have Ron Cena. We have Ron Killings. Ron Killings is a damn good wrestler.
Yes.
Still at the age of 53, he's still a good wrestler. He's still in amazing shape.
Oh my
Like
god, I'm jealous.
bro, he's an amazing. He's in better shape than a lot of other wrestlers on the roster.
For
At
sure.
his age.
Yep.
Um, I did watch the Busted Open interview. He started off being aloof, being goofy, and then they went into what Bully Ray said, and who the F are you to tell me who I am? Like, and that means a lot to him. I
Yep.
don't know if it means a lot to the common fans because the common fans want what's up? What's up? What's it? They want call and chat. They want the call and response. They want all of those things. They want their fun, love, and truth. I don't know when they turn on him. I said that in the group chat, and people, I felt the tension in the group chat when I said that. And I only said that because I respect Ron Killings. I respect our truth. I respected him when he was a goofy act, right? I know what he could do in the ring and I know who he is. One, I know who he is. Like I've followed his career for a very long time. Um, but does the common fan really care when he comes out there and cuts the same promo next week? They'll cheer. But what about next month? Right?
Right.
Once he has a few, is he on Raw? Is he on SmackDown? Because he was on SmackDown before. Like, where is he at? Like, where? Like
Well, this is the
the
part of the
direction
year.
he.
This is the part of the year where the wrestlers kind of blur the lines of what shows they're on before they do the
Yeah.
draft. This always happens where, like, whatever you were on, it all starts to fall apart and wrestlers just popping up all over the place.
I'm with. I hope once again. I said this last week. I just hope he goes out on his own terms because he
Me too.
deserves that, right? Whether he wants to be a serious actor, whether he wants to be a serious character and just go in there and put on bangers, like if he wants to go out like Sheamus and just have just great athletic matches, and be serious, or we see little Jimmy again. Because that's where I honestly hope he goes. I hope he goes to that dark
Supposedly,
side, that little Jimmy
supposedly
side.
his music isn't changing. He's not changing his entrance theme. So whatever. I'm curious to see how they're going to go with him and how dark they're going to take him, as opposed to, are you going to lean into any comedy at all, or are you just going to be this straight serious? Because you can't be, do a little bit of comedy and then realize, oh wait, I got to be a little bit more serious, and you can blend that in a good way.
Mhm. And I think if anybody could do it, he could do it. He's an
Absolutely,
entertainer. Like
absolutely.
he once again, he got little Jimmy over. I will
He
never
did.
forget that. That was one of the greatest runs. Like as a bad guy, he got little Jimmy over, and like people were terrified of him during that run.
Yeah,
And I mean, he can do anything. He understands so much of the psychology of wrestling. I just hope all of the fans stay with him
I hope
throughout
so
all of
too.
this.
Um, and then we had another fatal four way, right? We had the men's fatal four way for the men's King of the Ring. Um, we had Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Penta, and Daniel Bryan. I mean, Sami Zayn.
Man, once again didn't have that on my bingo card.
Neither did I.
Sammy coming out of this match
No idea to
because
say. I definitely expected this to be Dom or Braun, not Sammy.
I didn't think Braun will win either because they want to keep Braun away from any type of world title picture.
Right.
Like
But I figured
you don't want him to win it because if
no,
he
but I
wins
figured
this one,
he'd go another round and then maybe lose in the next round, not get to the finals or something like that. Because yeah, you don't want him to start edging too close to Seth yet. You're going to do that in a year.
yeah, exactly. Next year, this time, he probably will
Yes,
win the King of the Ring, right? Like
100%.
that's how he gets to his match
Um,
for the world championship.
so Sammy won that. Okay. Apparently there was a commercial break that we don't see because for some reason, even though I pay for the premium on Netflix, I still get ads and I don't get the backstage interviews. But Karrion Kross applauded Sami Zayn for seizing his opportunity and using LA Knight, who interfered in the match, to become the winner. Okay, I see they're heading. They're on a path, and I think that'll be a good match.
Are they though? They've been on this path for like the last
I
8
don't know.
months. Like they've been on this path since WrestleMania last year. Like
How
I feel like
long has it taken to get to the Austin Theory breakup that still hasn't happened? That is even one step closer. Come on.
because that was there's another backstage promo. Grayson's venting to the New Day. Like I don't understand what's
I don't get
happening,
it.
but you're right.
Then we had Nikki Bella come back to the ring, and Nikki came out and listed all the women that are great, except the one woman that is one of the greatest. She didn't mention Liv Morgan, who came out and got in her face.
Another thing I didn't have on my bingo card, right? Nikki
Nope.
Bella's showing back up. She's gonna have a match at Evolution. I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know who she was gonna have a match with. I kind of assumed she was gonna have a match maybe with Roxanne, like a super young wrestler to put them over. But when Liv's music hit, I'm sold.
There was one little back and forth in this that really was fun. When Liv said, I have everything you don't. I have respect, I have a championship, and I have a man. And then Nikki snapped right back and said, I'm just trying to figure out who he belongs to, you or Roxanne Perez. Boom. Instant.
Becky and Lyra, take notes. Right. That was a great damn promo.
I'm still a champion, and all you'll ever be is a reality show diva, Liv said. And then Liv laid her out. Okay.
Lyra, Becky, take notes. Right.
That's
seriously. That was the fact that I never thought Nikki Bella was the greatest promo. I've never thought Liv was the greatest promo. But they came out there and they had a good back and forth, right?
They did.
Becky and Lyra just yell at each other, and I don't feel it. And not saying they have to have stingers, like it don't always have to be personal.
No, not at all.
It never has to be that. But man, they had a great promo. Those two, and they got heat for their match. Yep. Like now everybody's ready for this match at Evolution.
There's a funny meme going around of John Cena laying knocked out in the ring and Nikki laying locked down in the ring and saying they should have never separated.
That's funny.
But after that, we get to the main event of the evening. We get not the way I thought things were going to go. Jey Uso with his son. And the minute I saw his son, I said,
You're right.
He's losing.
You said it.
I said, he's done. And Jay comes down with his kid. Gunther's in the ring. And they had a hell of a good match, man. They had a hell of a good match, I thought. That might have been
WrestleMania.
That might have been Jay's best match as a singles competitor in so long. I have a friend that said that Jay was the worst champion, can't promo, can't wrestle, and was a transition champion. I don't believe it, and I didn't feel like arguing back with him.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna argue with any. I'm done arguing wrestling takes. Like
if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Believe what you believe. I thought this was Jay's best match in a really long time. And
Great match.
And Gunther won. Gunther tapped him out. Actually, he didn't even tap out, right? He just passed out.
He passed out. He passed out.
passed out.
He choked him out. Yeah, he choked him out. He had nothing left. Jay fought a great match. Like that match is what that WrestleMania match should have been.
Yep.
Right? That
100%.
match is exactly what the WrestleMania match should have been. That's why so many people were upset that Jay won, because they didn't get that match to cement him as the champion.
Yep.
He's had good matches. Like I'm not
Sure.
gonna sit here and act like Jay's a terrible wrestler, because I don't believe that. Like
No.
I don't believe. I just think Gunther's a better wrestler. Like Gunther is he is a superior wrestler to a lot of wrestlers in WWE.
He's one of the top 5 on the roster, I think, as a whole complete wrestler.
Part of me thought Jay was going to retain, but halfway through the match, I was like, "There's no way he beats Gunther in this match. Like, how does he beat Gunther in this match?"
My man
Like,
is staying consistent tonight.
oh man, Matt, I'm with I won't say the worst champ, but I don't think he had a great.
He was not presented as well as he could have been. They
I don't-
didn't start really giving him meat until the last couple of feuds.
And it was too late.
Couple were awful.
Yes. Solo and like all these other randos.
Solo was not. Now Solo now would be a better.
Correct.
But as for Jay, it was a good match. It was a really good match, and he gave a really impassioned promo after the match, thanking the fans, his kid in the ring with them, and when the cameras went off when they went off air, he to the local crowd there. Now we get to see where Gunther goes. Supposedly Monday night, Goldberg coming back.
Why do you say these things to ruin my night? Like, just ruins my night, because I know this is gonna happen.
There is 0.0% chance of Goldberg winning this belt. This is a retirement match.
They said the same thing. They said the same thing when he fought Brock. There's no way he beats Brock, and he speared Brock in one in like 2 seconds.
But then he just has to give the belt up. It's his retirement match. What it would be? You're taking Gunther and just ruining him completely. I could see if they did this with Jay.
They did it with Cody. They took the belt off him with Cena. What if Cena and Goldberg are the last real champions? My wrestling is ruined. What if Goldberg really ruins wrestling for me? What if Goldberg and Cena standing tall at Night of Champions?
What if Goldberg pins Gunther and John Cena comes out and goes, "I told you I was going to ruin wrestling. Let's both retire now." Boom.
Right now. The last real champions, Bill Goldberg and John Cena.
Oh my God.
He just ruined wrestling for me. Bill Goldberg.
You're destroying Gunther as a champion. Now, how do you build Gunther back up? You've spent this time now building Gunther back up to this point. How would how would he ever recover?
So here's my fear, right? This is going to be a terrible match, because Goldberg is not going to go in there and just feed to Gunther, because Gunther should actually, if they have a match at Night of Champions, Gunther should obliterate him in this match.
This is supposed to be Saturday Night Main Event. This is supposed to be in Atlanta, Saturday Night Main Event. It's going to be on Peacock. There's probably going to be 19 commercial breaks through the match because it's going to be so slow, because because Goldberg's old and can't move anymore.
I want to see Gunther go in there and just murder him in the ring.
That's what
I want to see him choke out Bill Goldberg, but Goldberg's not going to allow that to happen. Goldberg's going to lose on some crazy crap, and that's not Gunther. Like, Gunther's going to lose in this match no matter what, unless he squashes Bill Goldberg, which they're not going to allow.
There's no way. There's no way Goldberg's getting him up for a jackhammer.
That's the scary part. I'm more afraid of him trying to do that and then injuring Gunther. Like, that's my fear, is that
I've been reading that Goldberg's kind of been hurting himself a little bit training. Little shoulder injury, little knee injury, little hamstring injury. I mean,
he doesn't understand.
The signs are there. You don't need a retirement match. Bill, just
Just retire. I don't need to
Train your
see you
son.
again.
Train your son and let your son go into NXT. Do that. You don't need a retirement match. Not everybody needs a retirement match.
No.
No.
He definitely like I'm more afraid of him hurting Gunther than I am of anything else. Like I don't care about him winning. I don't care about him losing. I'm more afraid of him hurting and like not just hurting Gunther. He takes him up for a jackhammer.
Oh, he's gonna kill
You
himself.
could break his neck. You could
He's gonna break his own back.
like I don't need that. I don't need Goldberg to coming in and like give himself a concussion before the match and not know where he's at and just almost like he did with the Undertaker. I don't need that.
No,
Like
what should
I
happen?
really don't.
His music should hit. He should come down to the ring, and the ref should just go like this right away.
Yeah.
Just throw the X up.
Try to spear Gunther. Gunther jumps over him and like somehow wraps him up to put him to sleep. Like I Goldberg, you are Bret Hart was right. You're like Bret was right. You're a terrible wrestler.
Yes.
Like all you do is hurt people. You're a
Because
little bit older now.
you know what we don't need? We don't need Goldberg to hurt Gunther, because not only is that hurting Gunther, but now you're bringing Bret Hart back up to start talking again about how
Yes.
dangerous Goldberg is.
Yes.
We
Bret will be
finally
on
got Bret.
Area Hawani
We finally
next
got
week.
Bret as tapioca. We got Bret over here being quiet. Let's just leave Bret over here being quiet. We do not need to stir this old shit back up again.
Oh man, I'm telling you, like that's not what I want to see. I really like I don't want to see that, man.
No,
I
me
don't want
either.
to see Gunther get hurt.
No.
I just don't want to see Gunther get hurt. That's truly my only fear. I don't care about kayfabe. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like he can really hurt Gunther,
He
and
can.
Gunther is on a upward trajectory to be a top guy for a very long time. I just don't want to see him get hurt. So enough about Goldberg.
All in
Man,
all, I thought Raw was the best Raw of the year so far.
correct. Great Raw. Great Raw. Great matches.
Yep.
It felt fast. It felt fluid. Like it didn't linger. Even the Becky and Lyra stuff didn't linger too long, right?
No.
It flowed from one thing to another.
Yep.
Becky spoke maybe a minute too long, but at the same it wasn't like
Yeah.
a John Cena 15-minute,
Yep.
rant.
Road
So
Dogg, did you watch Raw this week, please? Take notes, sir.
I mean, in Night of Champions, which really confused me when he said, because I'd just been calling it King of the Ring this whole time, because I just assumed it was the King of the Ring. It's the King of the Ring pay-per-view because the King of the Ring tournament's on it.
Basically.
But Night of Champions is next weekend?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
They're packing the PLEs in 2-3 a month with the Saturday night main events. TKO got to get that $3 billion back.
Like I said, they love money and they gonna make a lot of it in Saudi.
Mhm.
They're gonna make a lot of money just going to Saudi. They already, I mean, what is it, like a $5 billion
It's a
deal to go to
ridiculous amount
Saudi
of
2 or
money.
3 times?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous
Um,
amount of money.
which is why we're getting CM Punk versus John Cena, because they probably threw at least like $10 million at CM Punk just for him to fight John Cena. Like they throw
Oh,
that's why Shawn Michaels came out of retirement, was because they threw like $5 million for
W
one night.
WWE receives approximately $50 million from the Saudi government for each event held in the country, including Night of Champions. This deal
And that's
covers
not even
their
a
2
gate.
events per year.
That's not even a gate. That's
No.
not even merchandise.
Nope.
That's just
Nope.
that is just
That's
we
not
want you to
that.
come to our country. Here's $50 million.
And here's that couch set up at ringside that one Sheik always gets, and definitely does not cost $40 to sit on that couch.
No.
That might be a casting couch, but that's a whole nother topic.
A whole nother topic. So with that being said, Sammy might win this King of the Ring. Sammy,
Sami Zayn might, yeah.
he might. He didn't go over to Saudi for a very long time. He's gone.
Mhm.
He is loved over
He
there.
really
Like
is.
they love Sami Zayn, which is insane given the political
Yep.
and geopolitical climate and Sami Zayn being Palestinian. I'm not going to go into all of that, but I mean, it's wild, but they love him. He
Yep.
was so over. He was so happy there last year. I don't know if that was an act. Doesn't really matter. He's over there, so he might win this thing. If he loses, if he gets to the finals and loses, might be a little crazy.
It might be. And yes, Matt's
Might
right.
might be a
We'll be
little crazy
float
over there.
we'll be floating in the pool with the TV outside watching Night of Champions.
Respect to that.
Some-
As far as the queen, I mean, my queen, Naya might go back to back. She might do it 2
Mm,
years in a row. Her and Roxanne in the second round. I looked at the brackets. If she wins her second round, if she wins her fatal four-way, it's her and Roxanne. That is a match that I would love to see.
I don't need that. That just doesn't sound like a fun match.
Uh, It does to me. I'm a Nia. I love me
I
some Nia
know.
Jax. I love me some
I
Nia Jax.
know.
And Roxanne, I think Roxanne will win that match. That's the thing. You want to put Roxanne against a huge opponent, so Roxanne can come from under. Like now they're both heels, so we might not get that match.
Let me
Like
see.
if Roxanne was a babyface,
Real fast before we go. The men's bracket on the left side, we have Randy Orton, LA Knight, Aleister Black, and Carmelo Hayes. Who's your pick?
Hayes
I think
to make up for Money in the Bank.
LA Knight wins, but I can see that happen.
Touche.
The other men's bracket on the other side is Cody, Damian, Andrade, and Shinsuke. I can't see Cody.
Andrade.
I can't see Cody. not
Andrade
winning.
wins this.
Okay, I can't see Cody. And then the bottom, so those are the two SmackDown ones. The Raw one is Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, and an unnamed person.
Couldn't have done that for Oscar, but we did it for the men.
I'll do the women one real fast too. But who wins?
But yeah,
Sheamus, you said?
no,
Sheamus,
Bronson.
Rusev, Bronson, and then there's still one more slot that hasn't been filled on the Raw side.
Bronson wins this, so Cody
Okay.
can beat him.
Okay. And the women's one, we have Nia, Piper, Mishin, and Jade.
Jade wins that. Jade's
That's
gonna win
Nia's.
that match.
That's Nia's. Okay.
I know, but Jay's gonna win that. Piper and Nia gonna equal each other out. They're gonna take each other out.
The other SmackDown one is Charlotte, Alexa, Chelsea, and Candice.
You know what, Matt? It's okay to be wrong sometimes. It is okay to have a wrong opinion about things. And I'm not talking about mine. It's okay.
I kind of think Chelsea Green's going to win.
I thought the same thing.
I kind of think she's going to win.
Queen Chelsea has a nice ring to it.
It does. And then for Raw, we have, this one's tougher. Ivy Nile, no shot. Raquel Rodriguez, Stephanie Vaquer, and Asuka making her return.
Stephanie.
I think
Stephanie's not gonna lose. Yeah, she's not gonna lose. She's not gonna lose that one.
No.
So we'll revisit this next week once we had these matches.
A little bit more in depth.
So I can gloat at Matt and tell him that Nia's not awful. She's a winner. She's a winner. But no, I think Jade's gonna win that one. I think Jade versus Roxanne is
it's a good match.
A better optic match than two heels, going at it.
Yep.
But yeah, good tournament. I like this tournament. It's really fast. It doesn't really give you any chance to breathe, right? It's all happening.
Because the pay-per-view in 2 damn weeks.
Exactly. Hey, make that money, WWE. I'm not even mad at y'all. Brand everything. Everything in the WWE. I'm talking about the ropes. Each rope should have a different gimmick on it. Like
if it cuts down on the ads and the commercials, yes, do it.
Yeah. No, can't. No, you got to have ads too to make more money. It's all about more money. But on that note, we are definitely gonna wrap it up. We unless you have anything else, Frank.
No,
Unless you have
I went long. I went long this time. We had it tight to 90 minutes, and then I just went. And then I just. It's fine. It's fun.
oh
I
no.
love doing this.
This is great. I'm now it's my life's goal to see Nia Jax win every match so Matt could be upset.
Oh my god. I'm waiting for my text to start.
It's a lot of life's goal. Like I used to love like listening to people complain about Charlotte Slayer winning all their matches. I used to love drinking the tears of grown men complain about Charlotte Flair. She is no. I love it. I love. You know what?
I
I
told you our
respect that
nickname
take.
for her. I
I
told you
I,
our nickname for her was Nia Snacks.
I respect all of that. I love Nia Jax though. I've always loved Nia
I love
Jax.
snacks.
Um,
Mm,
love snacks too. But on that note, we're gonna end it for this week. We will see you next week with more hot takes about SmackDown. More, hopefully, we get to see more R-Truth or Ron
good.
Killings, and we get a little more clarity about CM Punk and John Cena. Man, I assume CM Punk's gonna be there.
I too.
Um, I assume CM Punk's gonna lose as well. But until next week, I really do appreciate everybody who showed up. We had a newcomer to the chat today. I think his name was T. Westerhoff.
T.
And I
Westerhoff.
appreciate you for showing up. Ace always shows up and shows some love. And Matt always comes here to give that Nia hate that I enjoy. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate all of your takes because you keep the conversation going. And Frank, of course, you are the podcast chief, and I appreciate you as well. And we'll catch you next week. Maybe not the same time. Maybe not the same time. Maybe not the same day. Because next week Wednesday is probably going to be the best day.
We'll
So
make it happen.
we'll see. We'll see. Either way, the island will always exist. But for now, gotta tap out.